Madam Speaker, let me at the very outset thank all the members who have participated in the debates on the appropriation 2017-18 bill on both sides of the House. And I must say that I have, of course, appreciated some praise from a number of members. There are also some members who have made constructive criticisms, which of course I do appreciate, and of course I will look into those constructive criticisms. But I must say, on the other hand, there have also been some very unfair comments, and not to say outright demagogy. Madam Speaker, let me address some of the general remarks made by the leader of the opposition and other members of the opposition. And I have listened also to the main fundamental argument of the Honorable Member from the MMM, Paul Béranger. Let me start with the argument that the budget does not do enough to boost up economic growth. Madam Speaker, I would say it is totally ludicrous to say that all the measures and the policies that have been announced in the budget would not bring about higher investment, growth, and job creation in the country. First, this budget is about massive investment in public infrastructure and other developmental projects. These infrastructure projects will cut across almost all sectors of the economy with tremendous multiplier effects that will significantly improve our economic landscape. Second, the budget is not only about investment in physical assets, but also about investment in human capital, in the development of skills, and promoting more knowledge-based development, because we want to create a new dynamism in our economy, and in particular for the services industry. Third, this budget has proposed bold institutional reforms, such as the setting up of the Economic Development Board, the National Economic and Social Council, the Maurice Research and Innovation Council, the new SME Mauritius, and a series of mergers and reorganizations of various public sector bodies. Fourth, the budget puts an unprecedented focus on strengthening the research and development and innovation ecosystem. Fifth, the budget announces concrete and strong actions to further facilitate investment and doing business. Sixth, it is extending the scope of the Speed to Market scheme, which was introduced last year, in fact in the context of Brexit. And we are extending it to a wider range of products. Seventh, The budget introduces a fundamental reform of tax policies, reducing the tax rate on net income from exports of goods from 15% to 3% only, Madam Speaker. This is indeed a bold measure. And this will concern not only existing firms, but will also attract more investment in export-oriented production. And again, sir, there has probably been some misinterpretation, because I heard some people saying that, well, it is with regard to SMEs, and SMEs, of course, we know, most of them, they do not, in fact, pay any tax because of a number of schemes which are wide-ranging and which covers practically now every activity in Mauritius, every sector. But this is for all companies exporting goods. So you can imagine there is no micro, there is no small and medium. It concerns the largest, the biggest company in Mauritius. And eighth, the budget has introduced powerful sectorial policies to diversify the export base and enhance competitiveness. It also encourages domestic-oriented firms to enter the export market, including supporting the new dynamism of the tea industry, investing in new agricultural products, modernizing production, and promoting the application of digital technologies at all levels of productive activities. Ninth, the budget also puts a prominent emphasis on empowering SMEs to expand their business and also to become more outward-looking. 10th, the budget addresses the challenge of expanding demand for our products from abroad and seeking new markets, especially in Africa and Europe, to diversify our export markets. Madam Speaker, I am not the only one who is confident on what the budget will deliver. I hear a few members have been saying that tous les économistes dignes de ce nom sont unanimes à dire que ce budget ne va pas relancer ou ne va pas améliorer la croissance. Well, let me here quote post-budget outlook, and I hope it is a well-respected opinion, because in fact, talking about IMF, World Bank, I know they regularly discuss with MCB focus. And I don't think MCB focus is, I'm not saying they are not, I'm not on good terms with them, but they are not particularly my friends. Huh? Not to say that I can influence them in that sense, Madam Speaker, I'm saying. And I respect their objectivity. And in fact, to say that at times they have been critical of certain measures taken by this government. That is why I'm quoting them. And I'm not saying that because I don't want anybody to infer anything wrong about it. But this is what they have to say. And I quote, "It is first and foremost interesting to note that it attempts to rise up to some key challenges faced by the Mauritian economy by notably aiming to foster higher growth and job creation. Higher growth and job creation. These are the words. Undertake substantial investment in infrastructure. Well, this is so obvious, goes without saying. Consolidate macroeconomic fundamentals. This is what we've been accused of. And improve living standards of the population. Specifically, the budget seeks to enhance the quality of the business environment, alongside earmarking dedicated initiatives meant to boost the productive activities and export performances of key economic sectors, as well as assigning measures destined to shore up the value added of the domestic-oriented industries and foster the development of emerging sectors, unquote. These are the words of MCB Focus. And let me also quote from their preliminary forecast made in the same document, MCB Focus. And I quote, "Looking ahead, economic growth is, in view of the improving context, foreseen to gain further steam, with real GDP growth at both basic and market prices projected to attain 4% in 2018, as suggested by our preliminary baseline scenario," unquote. Madam Speaker, of course, these are forecasts. Each one has made his own forecast. But we will live to see whether we are able to reach those targets. But the good thing is that independently of government, independently of us, this is what the private sector has to say. It is either, Madam Speaker, I would say either only pure demagogy or utter ignorance to say that the budget does not do anything to boost the economy. And there have been also, I would say that I consider to be a really ridiculous statement made by the second member of Catrobon and Belrose last Friday. You know what he said, Madam Speaker? That the economy will grow by only 0.6% over the next 3 years. By only 0.6% over the next 3 years. This is what I call bad economics. Bad economics. Madam Speaker, real GDP will grow from 447.3 billion rupees in 2016-17 to 507.5 billion rupees in 2019-20. This represents an increase of 13.5% over 3 years, and certainly not 0.6% as alleged by the member. On the other hand, the public sector debt as a ratio of GDP, excluding the purchase of 2 aircrafts by Air Mauritius, will go down from 66.1% in 2016-17 to 60.5% in 2019-20. Madam Speaker, let us be candid about debt. Public sector debt is created when the public sector, including the government, runs a deficit. And I cannot recall when was the last time that we did not have a budget deficit in this country. And I would say, moreover, Madam Speaker, as an upper middle country, we need to invest in infrastructure to ensure growth and development. But of course, we have to be fiscally responsible as well. And we have to base our decisions on the principle of sound fiscal management. And as long as the debt being incurred is being used to finance capital expenditure and not consumption, we are sure to reap the benefits in the future. And our own development experience has shown that each time we have borrowed to invest in major public infrastructure, there have been hefty dividends in terms of higher growth, higher income, and of course, improved standard of living generally. Madam Speaker, let me speak about the line of credit from India. First, any money that government and public sector bodies will borrow through the issue of preference shares will be invested in projects that will generate revenues. I maintain that, although what I've just heard, that they will not generate revenue. Metro Express, water and electricity projects, and the new administrative city. I maintain that all these will generate revenue. Of course, whereas for social housing projects, we'll have a subsidy element which will be financed partly from the grant obtained from the Government of India and from government budget. Second, the other social projects will be financed from a normal line of credit of 130 million USD, and not through the issue of preference shares, because some members are mixing everything to say that how are we going to get therefore revenue. As I mentioned, those projects which are going to generate revenue, and of course there are a number of social projects which are meant for such purpose, and of course are not expected to generate any revenue. And these projects, I heard the Honorable member before me saying that, oh, we have not provided for cancer and so on. We have provided. State-of-the-art equipment like linear accelerator for Victoria Hospital, the new cancer hospital. Well, this is what I understood, that we haven't. But anyway, but these equipments are to improve treatment for cancer patients. And the Honorable member from Catrebone, not the leader of the opposition, the other member, saying that we are wasting money. We are wasting money. We are spending money on cancer patients. We are wasting money because they do not generate revenue. This is his argument. Similarly, for firefighting vehicles, market fairs, incinerators, swimming pools, sport complex, and many other projects. Madam Speaker, we cannot deny the population the facilities and amenities that they badly need to improve their daily life. And third, this government does not implement projects on the basis of financial returns only, but for economic and social returns as well. Therefore, projects that are implemented, as long as they are feasible from a financial, economic, and social point of view, and of course, we must see whether they are affordable from a financial point of view, without having destabilizing effects on the financial soundness of government and macroeconomic fundamentals of the economy. But I'm sure outside this house, the population has understood all these. And the budget has created a new platform for the economy to climb to a new threshold of development. And I must say, Madam Speaker, on the social front, there is also broad consensus in the country that government has been bold and innovative in coming up with a truly new social paradigm. Let me substantiate. First, the negative income tax that will reach out to some 150,000 workers at the bottom of the income ladder. And this is about increasing their purchasing power for these families, supporting those who are making efforts, and improving their standard of life and the quality of life. And I'm confident that this policy will also result in higher productivity in the economy and embed a strong element of social justice in our productive system. This, Madam Speaker, is over and above the monthly subsistence allowance that was introduced under the Marshall Plan against poverty last year. Second, the budget is earmarking an unprecedented amount for the construction of social housing for families with very modest income. Third, this year, the budget provides 32.9 billion rupees for social protection. This is an increase of 11 billion rupees over the year 2014. 11 billion rupees from 2014. And yet, we are accused, we are being said that not much is being done for social protection. And I'm speaking here, Madam Speaker, about money that will go to support directly, I'm saying directly, vulnerable families, people with disability, pensioners, orphans, widows, children, and to address issues of social exclusion. Fourth, over and above the 32.9 billion rupees I have just mentioned, we are providing 12.1 billion rupees for free health care, 16.9 billion rupees for free education from pre-primary to tertiary. And these free budgets alone will cost government 61.9 billion rupees as compared to 45.2 billion rupees in 2014. Again, an increase of 16.7 billion rupees from 2014. Fifth, this year, the budget makes substantial provision of 1.7 billion rupees to upgrade local infrastructure across the country, both in urban and rural regions, and I'm sure that this will definitely impact on the daily lives of our citizens. Therefore, our policies on the social front clearly demonstrate the commitment and determination of this government to lift up the standard of living and the quality of life for all. Madam Speaker, let me address some other issues that have been raised as well by the Leader of the Opposition and some other members. Honorable Reza Outim has said that the budget deficit, and I heard also Honorable Béranger saying that the budget deficit should have been 4.4% of GDP instead of 3.2%. Well, I must say they are wrong. Because when transferring the special funds to the consolidated fund, both the revenue and expenditure items have to be taken into consideration. And yet, in their calculation of the deficit, they have used total expenditure, which already includes the expenditure that would have been made from those special funds, but did not include the revenue from those special funds. Some members of the opposition have also claimed that only 300 jobs have been created in the country in 2016. Well, that, I think no one can believe that. You can criticize, you can say a number of things, but just to say that only 300 jobs, of course this is not true at all. For government alone has in the past year employed 4,215 people. And that I have tried to get the figures also for those who have been employed by public sector bodies. This is excluding all those parastatal bodies, all the other institutions. And I'm not talking also about the private sector, of course. And here I must say, it has also been observed that there is a lot of mobility amongst those holding school certificate and higher school certificate precisely because there are a number of job opportunities that are open to them. Because the private sector has been complaining that when they have vacancies in the lower grades and posts requiring school certificate and higher school certificate, and when they take a list from the employment exchange, almost all those on the list, not all of them, but quite a number, in fact, they say that they are already working. This is the fact. You know, it can be checked. That is why, Madam Speaker, with regard to job creation, I'm not saying that we have done everything that we could do. We can do better. We have to do better. And I heard also Honorable, he's not here, but Honorable Mohamed, I think, Honorable Shakil Mohamed, talking about lack of job creation in this budget. Let me say that, again, it is interesting to note what the Honorable Member himself said when he was Minister of Labour. In an interview to L'Express on 6 August 2010, the member then was very quick to shift the blame from government to the jobless men and women of this country. And this is what he had to say, and I quote, "There are more than 20,000 vacancies in the private sector." No, at that time, I'm quoting, there are more than 20,000 vacancies in the private sector. But Mauritians, this is what Honorable Shakil Mohamed said at that time, but Mauritians don't want to do hard work, hard jobs. If they did, we could find jobs for each and every one of them. And there are training possibilities. What more do you need? This is what he said. Well, Madam Speaker, the opposition has also spoken about the issue of Betamax, arguing that the necessary provision should have been made in the budget. Again, I will refer to IMF, and according to IMF, contingent liabilities, such as potential legal claims, which are claims stemming from pending court cases, should not be reckoned in the computation of the public debt figure, but merely as a memorandum note to the balance sheet. Madame la Présidente, j'ai entendu l'honorable Reza Outim dire, et je cite, "The MMM was the only party which stood against the contract allocated to Betamax in 2009. Unquote. Et il a aussi ajouté que, I quote, "We were not agreeable with the way that we were going to bind this population for the next 15 years. A contract that was signed in total opacity, without any tender procedures being followed." Unquote. Il a également dit, et je cite, with regard to city power this time, "We in the MMM objected because the way the contract was awarded, the opacity surrounding the award, the fact that it was an unsolicited bid, that is why we objected." Unquote. Et concernant BAI, il a dit ceci, I quote, "Yes, Honorable Paul Béranger questioned the government about BAI. Yes, we were concerned. We were concerned that the insurance levels, the related party ratios were not being addressed correctly." Unquote. And Honorable Bhagwan also referred to BAI, Betamax, City Power, amongst others, in the budget speech. Maybe I should remind Honorable Bhagwan also, after having quoted all this, together with Honorable Outim, what Honorable Bhagwan said also in the past. And I quote, "Moi préfère boire l'isole qui a faire l'alliance avec Parti Travail." Unquote. I'm just saying what you've said. Yeah. This is, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Order, please. Order.
I'll go away.
Order. Order, please.
You will.
Order, I said. Honorable Jugnauth, don't make provocations, you said. Honorable Bhagwan, also calm down, please. Honorable Prime Minister, please proceed.
Me, you will outlive me. Good for you. And yet, in spite of all this, the MMM, in spite of all this that has been said, Madam Speaker, because what Honorable Outim was saying that, yeah, the days were good when we were like, okay, fair enough, good. I accept that criticism. But in spite of having said all this, what did you do? You allied with the Labour Party. You started praising Navin Ramgoolam. And you started...
Honorable Bhagwan, no, mind that language.
And you started campaigning for him to be the next president with accrued powers.
No.
Madam Speaker, Honorable Outim and Honorable Bhagwan, they were present. I remind them, because they have forgotten, that they were present at Hennessy Park, Eben, on the 17th of September, 2014, for the first public get-together between the MMM and the Labour Party. Comme on dit, comme quelqu'un a dit de l'autre côté de la Chambre, les paroles s'envolent, mais les écrits. Mais il y a aussi les photos qui restent. I don't want to remind them. You want... Alors.
Order. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Honorable Jagrou. Please. Order. Order on the other side. Order, please. Order. Order. If we don't have order in the house, we won't be able to proceed with the business of the house. Please proceed.
C'était... Moi, j'ai eu ma baise-main. Mais ça, je ne sais pas. Mon baise-main. Allez, pas faire rien. Non, on va connaître. OK. Mais ça, c'est... Comment vous allez décrire ça? Celui-là. C'est quel genre de baiser? On est en... Well, maybe I should table this one then.
No.
When I went through... Oui, vous donnez des leçons. Vous donnez des leçons. Vous êtes en train de donner les leçons. Mais si vous aviez ces mêmes principes, pourquoi vous avez fait cette alliance? Pourquoi vous avez commencé à dire Nabil Ramgoulam? Reste tranquille, Dota.
No, order.
When you spoke.
Order, please. Order. Can I ask honorable members to mind their language, please? Because there are certain parameters within which members can express themselves. There are certain parameters within which members can express themselves. But I would remind you that you have to be decent in the way that you are addressing each other.
When Honorable Paul Béranger intervened earlier, I sat down quietly, and I think all the members sat down quietly and listened to him. I think I need your guidance on this, Madam Speaker, that when I am intervening, unless there is a point of order, I should be able to intervene peacefully.
Honorable Prime Minister, since the disorder has started in the House, I have been trying to calm down everybody. And this is my role as Speaker, so that the business of the House can continue. So I am trying to calm down both sides of the House, and I am asking members of this side of the House, as well as members on the other side of the House, not to make provocations so that we can continue with the business of the day. Please.
And I should be able to reply. I'm not out of order because I should be able to reply to what they have been saying. This is why I remind them. Going through the newspapers headlining about l'événement du jour at that time, I have shown the picture. I can table it to refresh his memory. The picture of Honorable Bhagwan kissing Miss Nita Diapal Singh, and Honorable Utim proudly standing around the photograph session of Mr. Lomas Bandhu, the famous author, Il faut penser en dehors du boîte. Huh? Then there was no Betamax, then there was no City Power, then there was no Ponzi scheme or BAE and so on. They've forgotten everything. And interestingly, Madam Speaker, of this party, where we can see, very party, they are having nice, I don't know what they are drinking, but we see that Honorable Mohammed was not there. Normally he's not invited, just like the parties at the Clarice House. Yeah. So, I know you are tired. Yeah.
Calm down.
Poof. 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 You should keep calm. Keep cool. As they used to say, keep cool. Honorable Reza Utim also spoke about, and I quote, in those days, the MSM was doing what they call opposition loyale. That was before they joined hands with Navin Ramgoolam in 2010 elections, unquote. He also mentioned, I quote, but in those days, the MSM was with the Labour Party, honeymoon period, unquote. But let me again remind him, in 2014, while the MMM, Madam Speaker, while the MMM, this is good for people to know, while the MMM was in the remake, yeah, they were in the remake, they were in an alliance with us. At the same time, they were negotiating with Navin Ramgoolam, with the Labour Party. They were quoting each other.
Honorable Jugnauth, don't interrupt the Honorable Prime Minister and don't make provocations.
They were quoting each other then, au vu et au su de tout le monde. And I remember Honorable Utim, because I'm replying to Honorable Utim's argument. He should remember very well. He was part of that very restricted, selective committee where we used to meet at La Caverne, at Sir Jugnauth's residence. And because it was au vu et au su, because we heard it from so many quarters, we questioned Honorable Béranger then. Sir Anirudh asked him, well, this is what rumors are we've heard. Is it true? And he said, Sir Anirudh, how can you believe in such rumors? How can you think, after I've convinced you to resign as President of the Republic? Okay, let me tell the true story to the people. The population is listening to me.
Order. Can I just remind honorable members that I have given certain leeway to all honorable members to make their comments and remarks on the bill, on the estimates. Now, can I remind honorable members that they should not bring in extraneous arguments? And then, can I also remind you that it is out of order to use unbecoming words or expressions or to use offensive languages about members of the Assembly across the floor from a sitting position?
Madam Speaker, how can, when members of the opposition, that is why I have quoted Honorable Reza Utim, what he has said. And I cannot let it go unrebutted. This is why I am replying to what he said. Why is it that they be allowed to make comments which is, in fact, they are outside the budget, I agree. But they've been making such comments. That is why I should reply. And I'm saying, and I'm maintaining.
Honorable Bhagwan, I've just drawn your attention to Standing Order 42.
Yes, I was saying, Madam Speaker, the meeting at La Caverne, when
Honorable Bhagwan, please, if we continue like this, we'll never finish. Honorable Bhagwan, please.
I was saying, Madam Speaker, during the meetings at La Caverne, Sir Anirudh Jugnauth queried the Honorable Béranger and asked him, there are witnesses. Rubbish? Honorable Boda was there. Honorable Sudan was there. Honorable Dukan was there.
Now, if we are going to start again, at what time now? Let me, Honorable Béranger, please. Honorable team, please. Can I calm down, honorable members? Please. I'll suspend. If you continue, then I'll have to suspend. I'll suspend. If you continue, I'll have to suspend. Last night, we had a very late night. Everybody, I'm sure, must be tired with the work that we had last night. And if we continue on this trend, at what time are we going to start the Committee of Supply? Please.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I was saying that La Caverne, we had meetings, and since some people have been... Reste tranquille.
Honorable members, no. Honorable Béranger, can I just remind you? No. I'm just reminding you that there are certain words which are accepted in Parliament, but there are certain words which cannot be accepted. And you've just used the word which is not acceptable in Parliament. I'm not going to repeat what you said, but there are certain words which are not acceptable and which is considered to be unparliamentary. I'm just reminding you once more not to use, no, I'm not going to use the word you used, but I am asking you once more not to use an improper language. Yes.
So let me restart again. I was referring to the meetings at La Caverne, and yes, oui, mais moi. Madam Speaker, this so honorable member, Paul Béranger, has uttered the most soothsayer towards me. I want a ruling that he...
Unacceptable. Honorable Béranger, please. Order. Honorable Béranger, please withdraw this word. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for withdrawing. So I was saying, maybe it's good that I should refresh their memory. And who was present on the other side? Honorable Béranger, of course. Honorable Utim. Honorable Ganu was there. There was former Honorable Oyan Navar. And I can't remember, maybe Honorable Bagwan, of course. You were there, my friend. You were there. And Madam Speaker, can you imagine while we were in the remake, the question that Anirudh had asked, because we had heard those rumors, we had heard also from some people in different quarters, and the question that was asked whether those rumors are true or not. And the honorable member said, well, how can you believe in all these rumors? And I came to see you at Réduit, and I convinced you to resign as President of the Republic to join us. And this is how the remake. But Madam Speaker, can I be allowed to make my speech without being interrupted, and to be saying the truth without being interrupted by this honorable member? When he spoke, I kept quiet. We listened to him.
You know, I am asking both sides, and I'm repeating myself. I'm asking both sides of the House not to interrupt you. both sides of the House, not only this side but the other side as well. I'm asking all of them not to interrupt you. Please continue.
This is what he dispelled all doubts, saying that he was sincere in the alliance. That is why the remake was made. In fact, why do we call it remake? It was not an alliance. The remake was because to make Anirudh Jugnauth come back and become the leader of this alliance. And the same terms and conditions would apply to this remake as it was when there was the alliance of MSM, MMM in 2000, in September 2000. So, ça c'est la vérité, ça c'est l'histoire, ça c'est l'histoire. Et c'est bien que je suis à la télévision pour raconter à la population l'histoire, comment ça s'est passé. Mais cette trahison, en même temps, Madame la Présidente, en même temps, célébrer l'anniversaire de Anirudh Jugnauth. Hein? Venir couper le gâteau et lui donner un bout de gâteau comme, je ne sais pas quel genre de considération et quel genre d'appréciation. Et l'honorable membre, ce jour-là, avait fait un discours pour dire Anirudh Jugnauth est l'un des plus grands patriotes, le plus grand patriote que l'île Maurice ait connu. Hein? Et ce même soir, il quitte le plus grand patriote pour aller avec qui? Avec Navin Ramgoolam, pour aller contracter son alliance. Ça, c'est la personne en l'honorable Paul Béranger. Ça, c'est lui. And he's talking, Madam Speaker, at that time, 2014, only 7 PNQs were then asked by the Honorable Leader of the Opposition then, Honorable Béranger, for the whole year of 2014. And on top of that, I would not qualify those PNQs. They were like, some of them were like billets doux to Navin Ramgoolam. Hein? Ils ont même tombé d'accord pour fermer le Parlement pendant 9 mois. Pendant 9 mois, 2014, ils ont oublié pour pouvoir continuer à causer. Hein? It is interesting and revealing to note that what Honorable Béranger then had to say in his defense and the marketing of the Alliance MMM Labour Party en 2014. Well, he said, forgetting, of course, all those scandals that he used to dénoncer, critiquer depuis 2005. Qu'est-ce qu'il avait dit? I quote, Honorable Béranger. Mais le passé, c'est le passé. Nous pas pour guetter le passé, Madame Speaker. Hein? Et l'honorable Reza Outim a le culot de venir dire opposition loyale. Mais ça, c'est quoi ça? Quel genre d'opposition c'était ça? Hein? Il était déjà au gouvernement. D'ailleurs, il y a certains qui avaient déjà réservé, il y a certains qui avaient déjà demandé, identifié leur bodyguard tout. Hein? Well, Madam Speaker, let me say that it is this government that has restored the image and reputation of this august House. We had, in fact, 44 parliamentary sittings in 2015, 40 sittings in 2016, and these figures speak for themselves. Let me come to one. I see that Honorable Veda Balamudi, what he said, I must say it is shameful and really regrettable that an honorable member who is a lawyer is using this House to comment on a case which is presently ongoing at the Intermediate Court and therefore sub judice. Yeah, you don't have to be under parliamentary immunity to make false and gratuitous allegations. But Prakash Mantura, there is a case, but he has not been convicted of any offense so far. You are talking about that, if you are talking about that, but okay. Okay, let me reply to this. Let me reply to this. They have forgotten that during a by-election, quartier militaire Moka, they fielded a candidate called Pravind Jugnauth. Not only for the by-election, for general election. Oh, Aster Chacha! Aster Chacha! Aster Chacha! Mettre poison dans l'esprit du monde. Empoisonne l'esprit du monde, oui.
Silence, please. Silence, please continue. Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable Jugnauth.
Two general elections also, of 2010 and 2014. Despite the fact that he was guilty of electoral bribery on various counts by the Supreme Court. He has appealed to the Supreme Court and went to the Privy Council. All these courts has confirmed this judgment.
The more you cross-talk, the more there will be disorder.
And they have the guts then to talk about people who have not been convicted. Look, I don't want to use the same kind of argument as Honorable Balamoudi. Because for me, somebody, even if he is before the court, he is not yet guilty, he cannot be accused. He made point, clac, vous avez eu une claque avec la Cour suprême. La Cour suprême t'a claqué. La Cour suprême vous a claqué.
Silence. Silence. Honorable members, I have been appealing to you to have some order in the House. I have been appealing to you not to cross-talk. I have been appealing to you also not to use provocative language. You will no doubt appreciate that there are officials, government officials already in the gallery waiting for the Committee of Supply to start. Can I ask for your indulgence, please?
Cet honorable membre a le courage de dire dans sa conférence de presse, de venir dire n'importe quoi sur un midpoint. C'est qu'il répète ce qu'il a dit ici, en dehors de la Chambre. Then I will say hats off. Allez le bouffon, les bouffons. La Cour suprême a rendu un jugement et a donné une claque magistrale à Paul Béranger, le chef-juge, une claque magistrale.
I don't know whether I have to suspend. Please, Honorable Balamoudi, Honorable Balamoudi, please.
Vous avez été botté par la population, coup de pied, pendant les dernières élections. Il n'y a pas de respect pour la Cour suprême, le jugement qu'a rendu la Cour suprême. Il continue avec son midpoint. Allez dire ça dehors. Then I'll take you to task. But his party, he's talking about midpoint, his party. He's very Secretary General Ajay Ganesh. Le shérif, s'il vous plaît. Bon, tout d'abord, je crois qu'il est déjà en cours actuellement pour une case de gratification. Hein? Public official. Oh, pas qu'on condamné maintenant! Oh, yo, Beda! Oh, yo, Balamoudi! Oh, yo! Pas qu'on condamné! Tout le fond.
You know, now things are really getting, Honorable Balamoudi, now things are really getting out of my hand. And if this continues, I'll have to suspend. We'll take all the time we need to discuss among yourselves, and then we'll start again.
Les gens vont apprécier. Pour Prakash Mantoura, condamné. Pour Ajay Ganesh, pas condamné. Ça, c'est le cinéma du MMM. Ça, c'est le principe. Hein? Pas condamné. Mais seulement son cas est toujours devant la Cour suprême. Et je suis d'accord, Madame la Présidente, il n'a pas encore été condamné. Contrairement à eux, Moi, je dis qu'il n'a pas encore été condamné. Moi, je ne le condamne pas. Mais je mentionne cet exemple parce que quand ça les arrange, ils mentionnent un cas. Quand ça ne les arrange pas, ils sont sur la défensive, alors ils viennent dire autre chose. Et puis, il y a le shérif, comme Ajay Ganesh, qui s'est comporté comme un shérif. Tout le monde sait, hein, son beau-frère, qui a été arrêté par la police en conduisant une voiture après avoir consommé plus qu'il n'en faut, hein, la limite de l'alcool. Il a été arrêté, il a été à la station de Fic en Flac. Mais c'est le MMM, ça c'est le style MMM. Ajay Ganesh, secrétaire général, vous savez qui je suis moi? Il rentre dans la station de Fic en Flac, vous savez qui je suis moi? Déjà, il n'est pas ministre, il n'est pas député, rien là. Hein? Déjà, il se comporte comme ça pour dire à son beau-frère, hé, lâchez-le, laissez-le partir. On verra. Bouloumoudi. The case of...
I'm saying, I think I better suspend the session. I better suspend the session, otherwise this will continue. I suspend the session for some 10 minutes so that you can calm down. So I suspend for 10 minutes. Honorable members, I hope you've been able to calm down, but still I will appeal to your good sense. Because, as I said, we had a late night, and as at now, we haven't even started the Committee of Supplies. So, as you know, as Speaker, I have to maintain the dignity and the decorum of the House. And for me to be able to maintain the dignity and the decorum of the House, I need honorable members to help me. So, what I'm asking from you is that your good sense prevail and that you understand that we have got a serious work in front of us and that we shouldn't lose more time in this. You will also appreciate that it is not appropriate for me each and every time to suspend the House because of lack of order in the House. In fact, we are being watched by the whole population, and I believe the whole population will make their own judgment on what is happening to this House this evening. So once again, I appeal to your good sense, and I would request the Honorable Prime Minister to restart his speech, and then we may conclude at some point in time. Please.
Restart, yeah.
Continue.
Madame la Présidente, vais-je sauter de la caverne pour aller à Fic en Flac, et de Fic en Flac, j'ai été interrompu. Donc, de Fic en Flac, pour répondre à ce que l'honorable Balamoudi avait dit, comme critique à l'égard de mon senior advisor, laissez-moi lui faire rappeler le cas de Bijananjari, qui a été trouvé coupable of 5 counts of public official using his office for gratification in breach of Section 7 of the Prevention of Corruption Act 2002. Cela me fait de la peine de le mentionner, mais c'est parce que nous avons été sujets à ces critiques que je mentionne ce cas. Et puis, l'affaire de BAI, c'est vrai que c'est le leader de l'opposition d'alors qui avait, à travers le PNQ in this House, avait critiqué Dr Navin Ramgoolam et lui avait dit que this was the biggest Ponzi scheme. Mais le MMM n'a pas hésité de prendre 10 millions de roupies de ce même Ponzi scheme au détriment des legitimate investors and policy holders. So that is why I say they claim to be clean, Madam Speaker. Let me, Jean-Paul Fouquioun, vous savez qui avait donné le permis? Qui était le c'est moi la population. Le ministre des Finances d'alors était l'honorable Paul Béranger. Et c'est à cette époque que ce même Jean-Paul Fouquioun qui sont en train de mentionner a eu son permis. But let me reply also to Honorable Balamoudi with regard, he criticizes on the issue of drugs, drug combating. I think he should have, at least I thank Honorable Amiem. Yeah. Hein? Lui, il a eu quand même le courage de dire et de féliciter le gouvernement pour this exceptional work that is being done in order to combat drug trafficking. Concrete results, Madam Speaker. Within a period of 4 months, a total of about 185 kilos of hard drugs, namely heroin, has been seized at a total estimated value of 2.7 billion rupees. And within the same period, just giving an example, within the same period, cash money suspected to be proceeds of drug dealings of about 15 million rupees has also been seized. Equipments have been seized. Bobcats vehicles have been bought from proceeds of drugs. Several high-profile drug dealers have been arrested. And I must say, again, this government has fulfilled its promise in setting up a commission of inquiry on drugs. And now one and all can appreciate the excellent work that is being done. And we are looking also forward. Not to say that we are waiting, because I heard previously one member of the opposition was saying that, well, government is not acting. Prior to all these seizures, one member has been saying that, yes, we have set up a commission of inquiry just to let things go on, wait for the conclusion of that commission, and then we are going to act. No, not at all. We have acted. We have acted and we have had concrete results, as everyone can see. But let me say also, and there are certain things, unfortunately, I'm not able to divulge to the House at this stage, but which will be made public later on, much later on. People will see the effectiveness of our actions. Mais pendant tout ce temps, Madame la Présidente, dans cette chambre, que ce soit nous, le MSM, que ce soit le MMM, avait demandé à l'ancien Premier ministre, Navin Ramgoolam, de mettre sur pied une commission d'enquête. Il a systématiquement refusé. Systématiquement refusé. And throughout these years, you know how many millions, and if I say millions, maybe more, that those barons, those drug barons have been accumulating in terms of wealth, in terms of cash, in terms of money. And not, maybe people are thinking only in Mauritius. The connections is worldwide. I will not mention countries. And yet, Honorable Balamoudi said, if I can recall in his intervention, he said, well, what is this? Enfants la case, just repeating any nonsense. He doesn't know how we have been able to bring Kisna back to Mauritius. He doesn't know. People do not know. But why I'm not able to say everything today? Because I don't want to cause prejudice to, first of all, to inquiry, and secondly, I don't want to give information with regard to the other drug traffickers that are also operating right now. And I must say, it is unfortunate that this country has been poisoned, a été pourri à plusieurs niveaux. Là aussi, je ne peux pas donner tous les détails. Certaines institutions que moi-même, je n'aurais pas imaginées. Certaines personnes, je ne dis pas les institutions en tant que telles, mais certaines personnes qui sont dans ces institutions. Mais on est en train de les traquer, un par un. Et on va les avoir. Parce que nous sommes déterminés. And let me also express my appreciation. Because I'm not claiming that it is me or this government. We are not doing it alone. I would like to express my appreciation and gratitude to all those honest, hardworking police officers in the police force, in ADSU, officers at the customs. I'm saying all those honest and hardworking officers. And in other institutions like the MRA. And in fact, in this budget, we have taken a number of measures to beef up ADSU and the other institutions together. And I have made it a point, Madam Speaker, together with Minister Mento, that there is a coordination. In fact, that was also lacking before. That there is a coordination, that there is a sharing of information, that we are looking beyond Mauritius in order to be able to combat those very, I must say, those very, and je ne pèse pas mes mots, very, very powerful people, avec des contacts incroyables. But this relentless fight to combat drug will continue. I can assure you of that. I am sad to say that at the dawn of the 50th independence anniversary, I was not present, but I read the speech of Honorable Oro Pero, who has made really disgusting and dangerous communal declarations. Madam Speaker, the honorable member, I hope she should shoulder her responsibility of those despicable statements and of the harm that this can cause to unity of our society. These vile and communal statements. I just wish to restate my resolute commitment to unite each and every component of our multicultural nation and protect our peace and cohesion. Madam Speaker, number of people in the opposition, some are talking about a by-election that will cause a general election. I'm not going to waste my time talking about all this. Let me say, and I speak out my mind, I can assure this country and this House that I will have 2 more budgets to present to this House, and the general elections will be at the end of our mandate. So people can feel free to do what they have the right to do, what they want to do. Of course, we will deal with any situation that will arise. But again, let me say that we have a lot to do. This, not only this budget, previous budgets presented by Honorable Vishnu Rajminaraidu, myself, this is the second budget. There will be other budgets. And as we all know, and I fully agree with that, we can have very good budgets, nice budgets, number of measures, but we need to be able to implement all those measures. And I do agree, this is one fair criticism that has been made by the MMM. When we look at the past, with regard to capital projects, we have earmarked billions of rupees But in order to be able to achieve our targets in terms of growth, job creation, raising the standard of living, making people enjoy the amenities, infrastructure, and so on, obviously we have to be able to implement all these projects. And this is where we, on government side, and it's not only this government, previous governments have had to face with this problem in terms of the process, in terms of procedures, but we have to address this also. We have to address the process, the procedures, while respecting regulations, the laws, but at the same time, it is our duty, because this is within our mean. We have our duty to be able to see to it that those projects do come to life. Therefore, Madam Speaker, almost 5 decades of independence, of perseverance and hard work have taught us that progress can only be achieved if we make fundamental choices when we have to. There are times in the history of a nation when we must dare to set high objectives and chart new pathways to attain them. Those times have come for our country and for our nation. The budget 2017-18 reflects fully the resolve of this government to change the way we do things, shunning mediocrity and inefficiency, embracing a future that is driven by high technology, efficient transportation systems, and better environment to work and live. Budget 2017-18 is also about changing the things we do so that our country and our population can live a healthy life in modernity, so that our children can grow up with the confidence that they will be able to live their dream, so that as a nation we renew the values of hard work, integrity, and compassion, so that as a nation we can rise up to the challenge of our ambitions. I thank you, Madam Speaker.